In this video, we're going to cover a concept that tends to be very empowering to the average Exolites user. It's called Expert Edit. It allows you to take any item in the Exolites database and customize the information for it. So whether we're talking about data such as dimensions, description, name of the product, or even the actual image of the item. Now, in order to do this, you do have to be logged in. And you're going to pull up your catalog. So either hit Browse Products from the dashboard, or on the left-hand side of the screen, you have this lookup option right here. Either way, when you click that, you're going to get the catalog in a new window here. Now I'm going to just maximize that so we can see what we're doing a little bit better. Now what you'll do is you'll pull up the item that you want to edit. Usually the easiest way is to type in the item number and hit search. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick search to get some items on the screen that we can look at. Now from here, you can see an E squared in the top right corner here. This is what you want to click to get to Expert Edit. So I'm going to go ahead and just click right on that E squared. And here I have the information for the item. Now you can see there are quite a few things in here that I can change. If you look at this top ribbon here, there's a lot of pieces of information. So here's the name that you see at the top of the page typically, that description, the family name is another one that you probably want to be aware of, and then of course the image. Now, one thing that's important to know about Expert Edit is that this will change the information for your database, in other words, your website, not for everyone else's. Now, I'm going to show you some of the other things that you can change here. Let's start with Socket. Socket refers to the bulb information for the item. So you can put in the type, the base here, the max wattage, and the number of bulbs. Now, you can also go in here and hit New, and you'll get a second line like that. Or if there was no bulb information in the first place, that'll give you your first line. This allows you to add in a second line here. So for example, if you have a fixture that takes more than one type of bulb, many chandeliers fall under this category. You can add in both bulb types and have them both display on the Exolites page. You can also go into dimensions here and change or add any dimensions for the fixture. Now I want to talk about the pricing column real quick. Notice that it says changes will be sent for approval and will not be reflected here. There are a lot of places where you can change the pricing in Exolites. This is really not a great place to do it. I would recommend going to the items page or doing an import for the item settings in the import area, or you can even enter in quoted pricing. This, however, is not going to be the place that you want to adjust your pricing. Now going over here to sorts, sorts are how things are categorized. For example, when you're in the catalog and you click sconces, you see a bunch of sconces pull up. The way that the system knows that that's what it needs to pull up is because those items have been flagged as sconces. Here you can see what the item has been flagged as. So you can see it's in here as a sconce, as a wall light, with a bronze finish and a transitional style. Well, let's say that I'm looking at this and I don't feel that that's a transitional style. I want to change that to something else. I'm going to highlight transitional, and then I'll point to I'll click on these little arrows here that point to this going back over into the available sorts. So I'm going to do that, and that's just removed a sort. Now, here I've got my categories and subcategories, but if I scroll down past those, towards the very bottom here, I'm going to start hitting things like finishes and styles and options, which of course are your Energy Star, wet rated, all of that fun stuff. Now, looking at this, maybe I want to assign this a traditional style. So I'm going to highlight traditional, and then I'm going to click on the little top arrows here. And now I've assigned it the category of the style of traditional. And I can do the same thing with any of the other options, whether we're talking about the actual options here like Energy Star, or if we're talking more about the different finishes or different categories and subcategories. So if you see something come up in a search that you don't think fits that category, you can go in and adjust that through Expert Edit, or vice versa. If you know something should be coming up in a search and it's not, you can check its sorts and adjust that here in Expert Edit. I'm going to click on bulb here. Bulb is going to be only used in the case that the item that you're looking at is actually a light bulb. And in case you forget that, it does actually say that right here. So if this item is any sort of a fixture, you really just want to leave this blank. The only time you do touch it again is if this item right here were a light bulb. Now looking at availability here, a lot of this information is going to be filled in by the manufacturer. So right now you can see this item has 47 in stock. That number comes from the vendor's inventory feed. Now, say that this is a customer maintained vendor or an item that you've entered in yourself, obviously there's not going to be an inventory feed in that case, in which case you could enter in an amount or go in through the attributes and enter in an amount there. Now the discontinued status, sometimes when you add in your own items, it will show up as discontinued, and in that case you have full control over marking it as discontinued or not. Now going over here to other, you've got kind of some random fields. You have your UPC codes, your vendorship method, and the different weight files or options here. This is also, however, where you're going to manage your images. So let's say that either I wanted to change this image or maybe this item didn't have an image at all. I would pick Upload Image, which is going to open up my computer here. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to pick a fixture here that's a, we'll pretend this is my product. Now you can see up here it was kind of thinking about it, and I get this pop-up that says enter a description for your file. To be honest, what you really want to do here is just hit OK. Now you can see that that image that I just put in there is down here. This is saved it. Now what I want to do, that's easy to forget to do, but this is a very important step, is I want to mark this as my default image. Otherwise, this old one is going to continue to display. Sometimes even if it doesn't have an image before, you still have to make sure that the default is marked, or it doesn't know to set that one as the one that displays. So that is a very important step. And then once you have, and you can go through and make changes throughout a number of different categories up at the top here, but as soon as you've completed this, you can come down here and hit Submit. And there we go, there's my item. You can see that image that I uploaded is in there now. When I go in, the sorts that I applied, let's see, so I changed it to traditional. It still kind of remembers that it's transitional. What's happening here is when you make a change to an item, sometimes it takes about an hour for everything to go through. So right now it's kind of in the process of changing, where it still remembers some of the things that it was before, and it's kind of noted some of the things that I've changed. Now it's hard to say what's going to go through right away and what's going to take a little time, but be aware that for the first hour that you have an item with new changes to it, it may not show up exactly how you put in your changes, but then if you check back on it, it will usually have everything the way that you set it. If you have any other questions about this or any other feature in Exolites, feel free to use any of our training resources or to contact client services with your questions. Thanks and have a great day.